The Anunaki are a group of deities of the ancient Sumerians, Akkadians, Assyrians, and Babylonians. In the earliest Sumerian writings about them, which come from the Post-Akkadian period, the Anunaki are the most powerful deities in the pantheon, descendants of Anunaki, the god of the heavens and the goddess of earth, and their primary function was to decree the fates of humanity. Since the second half of the 20th century, they have been the subject of pseudoarchaeology and conspiracy theories. The name Anunaki is derived from An, the Sumerian god of the sky. The name is variously written Anunna, Anunaki for Na, or Anunna, meaning princely offspring or offspring of An. The Anunaki were believed to be the offspring of An and his consort, the earth goddess Ki. Samuel Noah Kramer identifies Ki with the Sumerian mother goddess Ninhursag, stating that they were originally the same figure. The oldest of the Anunnaki was Enlil, the god of air and chief god of the Sumerian pantheon. The Sumerians believed that, until Enlil was born, heaven and earth were inseparable. Then, Enlil cleft heaven and earth in two and carried away the earth while his father An carried away the sky. The Anunaki are chiefly mentioned in literary texts, and very little evidence to support the existence of any cult of them has yet been unearthed. This is likely due to the fact that each member of the Anunaki had his or her own individual cult, separate from the others. Similarly, no representations of the Anunaki as a group have yet been discovered, although a few depictions of its individual members have been identified. Deities in ancient Mesopotamia were almost exclusively anthropomorphic. They were thought to possess extraordinary powers and were often envisioned as being of tremendous physical size. The deities typically wore melum, an ambiguous substance which covered them in terrifying splendor. Melum could also be worn by heroes, kings, giants, and even demons. The effect that seeing a deity's melum has on a human is described as ni, a word for the physical tingling of the flesh. Deities were almost always depicted wearing horned caps, consisting of up to 7 superimposed pairs of ox horns. They were also sometimes depicted wearing clothes with elaborate decorative gold and silver ornaments sewn into them. The ancient Mesopotamians believed that their deities lived in heaven, but that a god statue was a physical embodiment of the god himself. As such, cult statues were given constant care and attention, and a set of priests was assigned to tend to them. These priests would clothe the statues and place feasts before them so they could eat. A deity's temple was believed to be that deity's literal place of residence. The gods had boats, full-sized barges which were normally stored inside their temples and were used to transport their cult statues along waterways during various religious festivals. The gods also had chariots, which were used for transporting their cult statues by land. Sometimes a deity's cult statue would be transported to the location of a battle so that the deity could watch the battle unfold. The major deities of the Mesopotamian pantheon, which included the Anunnaki, were believed to participate in the assembly of the gods through which the gods made all of their decisions. This assembly was seen as a divine counterpart to the semi-democratic legislative system that existed during the Third Dynasty of Ur, c. 2112 BC, c. 2004 BC. The earliest known usages of the term Anunaki come from inscriptions written during the reign of Gudea, c. 2144 to 2124 BC, and the Third Dynasty of Ur. In the earliest texts, the term is applied to the most powerful and important deities in the Sumerian pantheon, the descendants of the sky god and this group of deities probably included the 7 gods who decree in Enlil, Enki, Ninhursag, Nanna, Utu, and Inanna. Although certain deities are described as members of the Anunaki, no complete list of the names of all the Anunaki has survived, and they are usually only referred to as a cohesive group in literary texts. Furthermore, Sumerian texts describe the Anunaki inconsistently and do not agree on how many Anunaki there were, or what their divine function was. Originally, the Anunaki appear to have been heavenly deities with immense powers. In the poem Enki and the World Order, the Anunaki do homage to Enki, sing hymns of praise in his honor, and take up their dwellings among the people of Sumer. The same composition twice states that the Anunaki decree the fates of mankind. Virtually every major deity in the Sumerian pantheon was regarded as the patron of a specific city and was expected to protect that city's interests. The deity was believed to permanently reside within that city's temple. One text mentions as many as 50 Anunaki associated with the city of Eridu. In Inanna's descent into the netherworld, there are only 7 Anunaki, who reside within the underworld and serve as judges. Inanna stands trial before them for her attempt to take over the underworld. They deem her guilty of hubris and condemn her to death. Major deities in Sumerian mythology were associated with specific celestial bodies. Inanna was believed to be the planet Venus. Utu was believed to be the sun. Nanna was the moon, and was identified with all the stars of the equatorial sky, Enlil with those of the northern sky, and Enki with those of the southern sky. The path of Enlil's celestial orbit was a continuous, symmetrical circle around the north celestial pole, but those of An and Enki were believed to intersect at various points. For more videos like this, please subscribe and click the bell button.